Hey guys, it's Tarn coming at you with another game of Minecraft. It's really just wheat. And we're just gonna, hang out, plant a little bit of wheat. It's not gonna be a very long one, probably, but I had a long day. I'm not gonna complain or really talk about it much, or at least I do not plan to. It's very boring. It's just hot outside. And that's all I've got to say about that. But here inside my house, the temperature is lovely. And the wheat is spacious, voluminous, and, indeed, wheat. Hey, Super Dean, how are you? Look at it. I mean, you can't look at all of it, because it won't fit in the viewing, but, look at some of it. Bask, as it were, upon the wheat. We're just going to hop on over here and work on... good question. Yeah, we'll just start on the top here and go down. The outpost is not safe for the wheat. No, indeed not. Once upon a time, we did like a raid on the village. It was like the first raid I was trying out because, like, I knew they existed, but I didn't want to try them in my hardcore world for the first time. This was a long time ago, months and months and months, and I recorded a video of it. But yeah, if you ever wondered why there's like 30 or 40 golems, that's a consequence of me failing the first raid here in this world rather badly. You got 1,000 views on a video? Awesome, congratulations. I'm not convinced I need that tree to be there. I am not convinced of that at all. We'll deal with it later. Or never. Either way is fine. For some trees... are relatively desirable for the wheat field. Because, like, when you're above it, they provide a nice sense of scale. People could be like, oh, that's like a treetop. Oh, you have a reasonable amount of wheat. Because without that, they may not necessarily be able to know. Because even, like, at this angle, you can't really tell how much wheat there is. Hello, Orange Froggy. I wonder what this world would have been like if I was a more normal player. If instead of, like, turning into a hardcore player basically from peaceful, if I decided to, like, make this world a world with monsters in it. I mean, I turned them on for a bit, but then it annoyed me. You say it's weird being able to hear a lot more clicks before. Yeah, I need to get a boom mic set up because my mic is like, my keyboard is like physically in front of where the mic is, and I don't know how to put it, so it's like, sometimes you can, like, if you're me, hit a button pretty hard, Plus, I have a mechanical keyboard, which does have a pleasant clicky sound, but I never really, you know, anticipated that I would one day have a good microphone. You say, why haven't I found myself a skin to use in Minecraft? Well, I mean, I found this one. I chose it right when I started, and I never changed it ever since. That'll be a common enough refrain from me in games. But I don't know. I like this one. Your mechanical keyboard has a very thocky sound. Isn't it so pleasant? I mean, unless, say, someone in your house is trying to sleep. Chose Axe Girl skin? Yeah. I almost always will choose, like, a female character in a game. Always have. Not, like, totally exclusively, but very often, if given the choice. Unless it's, like a dwarf, and they won't let the lady have a beard or something, you know. You gotta stand up for what's right. A dwarf without a beard. I mean, the lady should have beards. We all know the Tolkien jokes. But yeah, my favorite characters, like, my favorite genre is JRPGs, and my favorite characters in, like, all of those tend to be women, and so it's just like a, you know, logical enough thing for me to tell my internal gaming stories that way. Yeah, I liked her. I liked her little to-the-side ponytail. It was very no-nonsense, you know, very business-like. I felt like this was a person that could conquer the world or not. No, you know, whenever I chose this skin, I don't know. I would have to go back and see. I don't know how long I thought I was going to play Minecraft. I didn't even know you could plant wheat then. You know, I didn't know anything. Some people think there's more to Minecraft than planting wheat, but I mean, is there? Is there really? Not in any meaningful way. I mean, maybe to you. Meaning's different for everyone, after all. Your house has very thick walls. Ah, yes. Mine does not. Or more properly, like, the walls are fine. It's like the floor and, like, the vents. You can just sort of, like, angle your head up and sort of holler, and then, like, a person that's upstairs and on the other, like, side can hear it quite clearly. Years and years ago, when my parents lived here, my mom would, like, just, like, sort of gently call down the air vent, you know, if there was food or whatever. This isn't the house I grew up in, but... My parents are still, like, with us. They just don't live in this house anymore. No, we rented instead. It's alright. It is a house. Most of the time, trees don't fall on it. You say if I change my skin, there's a site called SkinX where I could find or make one? Okay. Yeah, it's like, at this point, it's almost like my Geometry Dash skin of Sir Green Blockington. Like, I sort of, like, quite strongly identify my Minecraft persona with this specific person, Alex here, who I didn't even know that was her name for ages. You know, it was just, this is the one that I chose. And inertia is very powerful for me. Sometimes people will be like, why don't you do this or that? Or like, it doesn't even occur to me to turn into somebody else. Like, I already decided this is who I am. Not in like a self-concept way, although I can be exactly that stubborn about such things. When Troggy say I'm good at keeping a topic going, when you stream on Twitch, you get locked in that you barely talk unless someone's in the chat. Well, you know, I have a talent for talking whether or not anyone is paying attention, which, for the setting of playing games on the internet, could really be quite useful, you know, given that people expect you to monologue, and that's something I have somewhat of a talent for. I'm not terribly good at seeing if the person I'm talking to cares about what I'm saying, but if I can't see them, then I can't I can't have to worry about missing any cues, you know. It's a lower pressure environment for me, given that anybody can leave whenever they want. But I'm glad y'all are here. Sir Green Blockington, yeah, that's the canonical name for the icon. It's been his name for like absolutely ages. Sir Green Blockington the Bold, you know. He has various epithets, but Sir Green Blockington, that is his name. But it's very often in games that I will almost never change the way that my character appears. I'll find, like, some look that I like, and I'll either lock that in, or, you know, find some setting where it's permanent. Like when I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I found this sort of golden fleece looking armor, and I'm like, all right, that's it. This is what I'm wearing. And then I just wore that for the rest of the game. One of my friends got so annoyed with me in Baldur's Gate because I found like some ragged old clothes, and then I was a wizard, and I like cast Disguise Self and like was wearing my regular clothes in the display, and he was like, why do you look like a hobo who can't do anything? I'm like, isn't it fun that like I look like a vagrant, but I'm actually the strongest wizard ever who knows every spell? He didn't think it was as cool as I did, but I think that me having some cool rags on and then casting lots of fireballs is much classier than wearing flashy robes and a big wizard hat. Although obviously I was wearing a wizard hat. You say I should make a Discord server? Maybe. I'm hesitant. I worry about doing anything that's going to, like, incurring me an obligation to make sure people act right. You know, anytime you bring people together, you have to worry about behavior, and that's, like, my least favorite thing. It's like, before I undertake on something, I always try to think of, like, what's the way that this thing could become like a chore in any way? And if I can think of some stuff that would make it like a chore, I just don't do it. Like, I really want a snake, like a ball python for a pet. I've wanted one for ages. I think they're very cool and nicely poetic. I like them. I think they're fancy. But it would be like giving myself a chore, and so I won't get one. Do I have any hobbies outside of cooking and gaming? I have other gaming hobbies. They're sort of dormant at the moment, but I play Warhammer 40K, which is a tabletop game with miniatures that you put together and paint and stuff. I'm very bad at painting it, but you know, I like it. And then Magic the Gathering is this like collectible card game, a pretty prominent one, but I've played it for some years, you know, like 8, but I haven't played a game in some time, but I collect a bunch of that. I read books. I like books a lot. But yeah, I mean, my principal interests are all what I would call artistic. I like music. I like movies. I like video games. I like books. I like poetry. You know, those are all the things that I find compelling. But yeah, it's virtually like how I would spend my time in every given day is just, you know, hanging out, listening to music. One of my principal hobbies, you know, so I watch real-time strategy game commentary on YouTube. Which the game that I watch sort of depends over the year, but like I've been doing this since like '08, right? As I think when I started watching StarCraft, but I watched StarCraft Brood War and Warcraft 3, and then I watch a ton of Total War Warhammer 3. So I'll watch, like, you know, competitive tournaments with, like, someone doing commentary over it, and that's something that I enjoy a lot. And then every now and then, you know, I'll go down some video essay rabbit hole and watch somebody explain something to me that I already know about, you know, kind of, but that I want to hear them talk about more. You know, I like, you know, history and that kind of stuff rather a lot. I've always been very interested in literature and such. I'm not very... So, for, like, music, I try to listen to stuff that's new, although most of my stuff that I listen to on the regular is, you know, stuff that I've been listening to for at least a while, you know. I don't just, like, listen to new stuff every 3 months and drop what I did or anything like that. But almost all the books and, like, poems that I like are very old, you know, hundreds of years old, if not thousands, for most of the stuff that I, like, think about the most and that I read the most. Like, most of my favorite novels are, like, Russian novels from the 1800s. And have been since I was, like, a little kid. But I've always loved books. But they were always sort of like a thing that I would do if I wasn't allowed to be playing games at that moment, right? Yeah, technology music, yeah, for sure. You know, I don't want to get too, like, bitter. It's like, I feel sometimes like my whole life was people trying to get me to like stuff that I didn't care about, you know? And I get it, you know, people want you to, like, experience different things, especially, like, when you're a child. You know, and your parents, like, you know, want you to play baseball or whatever. I knew I didn't want to play baseball. I wanted to sit at home and read Calvin and Hobbes, my favorite comic strip in the world, and play Final Fantasy and listen to music, you know? Like, that's what I liked. It's what I still like. But I'm grateful all the time that I get to do so much of what I like, which is principally, of course, just play video games. I mean, sure, I gotta, like, go to work all the time. But that's just because I wish I had more money than I have, and it's important to be able to pay your rent and be able to acquire goods and services. But barring that, you know, I would much rather stay in the air conditioning all the time. Said you sat and isolated yourself your whole childhood until you found a way to grow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you had a rough beginning to it, but I hope that you are feeling better about things now, that you understand more about yourself. I've had many struggles with my own psychology over time. Not one with like gender expression or anything, but lots of struggle in my life. But you know, I do feel basically the best now that I ever have. And a large part of it is how fun it is for me to come and play my silly little video games. Because this is all I ever really wanted. Here we are at the Field of 1,000 Cows again. You'll never guess why I got named that. But I watch sumo. Every 2 months there is a major sumo tournament. So that's another one of my interests, I guess. But, you know, I don't like... I guess there's, like, stuff I could do as a fan in between tournaments, but I don't really, you know, like, engage in any of that side of the sport, you know. I do watch, you know, all the upper division matches every single tournament and have for several years now, but... You're off to bed now. Good night, Orange Froggy. Thanks for stopping by. No, because this is, entity count here is just 1,167, right? So it's probably just barely 1,000 cows here. Because that's all the entities that are rendered in the whole, like, area, which is... This is the only, like, really, really dense block of entities. Oh, I didn't have the tool on, so I've just been leveling up. What a waste. Do I have a sword here? Anyway, you could theoretically walk out of these things using the wool, but sometimes if you have, like, a lot of cows, it's tough. I don't know where I put my sword. That's alright, we don't need to do it. We'll just mend it. Because, like, I could just, like, make a sword, but if it doesn't have looting, then what... Like, we're just gonna waste all the leather? That's ridiculous. It's not what we're gonna do. How's there no entity cramming? Well, there's actually... So, I built this... badly originally, but well, I mean, first of all, there's a lot of blocks, so they're not going to cram on each other normally, but I built like an interior moat, like you see them bobbing around there, and that actually stops them from causing more problems than they otherwise would, because when they try to do it right, they all get stuck in the water, and then they bob up and down, and then the mass, like, pushes them around backwards, see? So instead of them all being able to just, like, come over here and hurt us, they don't even have the ability, really, to cram in that heavily, which is pretty funny stuff. But you'll see, like, over there, a couple of them popped. It'll happen. Like, if I get up here, it'll happen. because they'll have more ability to you know, jump around. But you could fit like a lot of entities in a block. I think it's like 32, right? It's a whole lot of entities you can fit in a block, and this is a spacious field. The field of 1,000 cows is no ordinary field, you know. Here with spectator mode, no, that won't. Like, I thought there was a way to like X-ray it. Huh. Maybe spectator mode doesn't do that anymore. No, it still does. It just doesn't go through entities anymore. Curious. Huh, yeah. Oh. If you do that, you can see my little staircase going down. You know, sometimes you just gotta build a staircase. Wait, no, I don't need that bed there. Hey, Natasha. Stairs going up and down, and it goes nowhere. Exactly. See, you remembered. Yeah, no, we're probably gonna do that tomorrow. But we're certainly gonna be playing Minecraft hardcore tomorrow. So I will probably try to remember to do the stairs, among other things. Because that could be cool. Because, well, it's gonna be like we'll hit day 600 tomorrow, probably, right? So we gotta, you know, get the cake ready. So you can put it by the other cakes. I don't remember what I said I was going to do with that 100 days, but, you know, the ghasts happened. And, of course, I became strongly motivated by doing weird stuff with them. Oh, I think I came up with another game name for a ghast. I just don't know which one to do. So you can either do Cactagast, like cactus, but like with ghast at the end, and then, you know, it could be like, you know, the one with cacti around, or Caractagast, which Caractacus is like an ancient, like British isn't the right word, but a guy on the British Isles that like you know, like fought against Rome once upon a time. But I'm not sure which one I want to go with, but either one of those could be good. I've been brainstorming a lot while I was supposed to be, you know, doing work. Look, waiting is an important part of cooking, and sometimes when you wait, you brainstorm names for your guests in Minecraft. And if you don't, then that's just not an efficient use of your time. And I was thinking, I don't know why I rejected Radagast with just like throwing an H in there. Look, if there's 16 of them, that's a perfectly great name. And Tashi said you checked the last streams a little bit. Will it make a restoration type thing in the trail rune? Yeah, I plan to. Yep, absolutely. You know, do a better version of what I did here with the museum with much less destruction, and then like, you know, like recreating you know, like a little bit of it, and probably like making a new village out of it, you know. But maybe not. But I think probably doing that, you know, like making it like a whole functional like restoration of the ancient lands. Oh, that's right. The another gas name. So like how you could be an archaeologist, and I was gonna build like a just like a little miniature trail ruin, you know, like maybe just like a little miniature central tower with the mud bricks and the glazed terracotta and stuff, and that could be where Archaeologast hangs out. And then we could have a bunch of pots all around his little throne, and then I could say it belongs in a museum a lot, as if I need an excuse. But yeah, we got the disc, and I was having a good time excavating it and stuff, and I really like them, you know, like I like terracotta stuff in general, and am I gonna die? That's funny. Whoops. Alright, that's right, we turned keep inventory on a while ago, so we'll just be able to go back. Note to self, fall damage still exists. Yeah, I think it was you, Tasha, where you're like, why don't you simply click keep inventory to be on? And I was like, what? But yeah, because in the one that I excavated and made the museum here in this world, you know, like there was a bunch of mistakes and we cut out a bunch of the cobblestone. But yeah. Yes, that is how someone would die in Peaceful. They would use spectator mode to fly because they're too lazy to kill the dragon. Well, even if I did, like, what? I would have to, like, turn on creepers just to get rockets. Sometimes better to just change the entire game mode to fly, right? You know, I bet elytra flying is faster than spectator flying, but that would make the wheat field not look very large, you know? We don't need to fly too fast. No, I think I fell down a couple months ago as well, you know, and that's how they get you. Also, I've fallen into the lava in the Nether, I'm pretty sure. I have definitely drowned trying to get home from the Nether. You say, how can you do that? I went into an ocean monument. And you're gonna say, you drowned in an ocean monument on Peaceful? Yes, I did. And then you'll note that the game just like restores a bunch of the HP that you're losing just passively, even while you're drowning on Peaceful. That's true. That's true too. And yet I perished. And then when I finally found my way back there, all my you know, my stuff was gone. All of the stuff that I had got from my trip into the Nether, it was all ruined. It was a funny time. I wish that era of my Minecraft had been on stream. People would have loved that, you know. Like, I recorded videos of the early time, but, like, I didn't always, you know, didn't always record the stuff like that. That would have been good stuff. People would have loved that. People enjoy suffering. No, it's not fair. It's always fun to watch somebody cheerfully do something badly that you understand well. Well, not always fun. It depends on how cheerful they are, I suppose. I should say it's only by the explosions. There's a game rule to keep your explosion. Be annoying to have mobs in the field. It would be annoying to have mobs in the field. I mean, like, you can just, like, flash it to peaceful. That absolutely, because you can just go here, right, and, like, you know, and if you do that with mobs on, it wipes all of them out immediately. Because I remember doing that. The first trial ruin I went to, I was like, alright, now we'll try to turn it on and see what happens. And I'm like, oh no, this was a terrible idea. This was a terrible idea. I was not equal to the trial. I don't even know if I was wearing armor. I probably had some on, maybe. It wouldn't have been, like, properly enchanted, certainly. And as we all know, this game on easy without enchanted armor is much, much harder than this game on hard with enchanted armor. Just, like, so much harder. Need to get some of those vines for my world. My hardcore world. I don't know where I'd put them. We can find a spot though. This is never gonna happen because I'm so lazy, but like one day, wouldn't it be funny if I'm like, let's take a tour, and then just like I built the Temple of Wheat and I just never talked about it? It would never happen. I'd be bragging about it the whole time. I would be like, I have placed 4 blocks in the Temple of Wheat. They're dirt. But, you know, building stuff's hard. I should have been thinking about how to build the Temple of Wheat instead of brainstorming names for ghasts, but should I have? We're just gonna clear a little bit over to here and then do a little bit of planting on this side. Some nice straight rows. That'll do us well. And a bed that we left here. Plenty of beds left everywhere. The hallmark of a successful time. We're gonna throw some dandelions into the water. That's what's hot on the streets. That's what all the cool kids are doing. I don't care about you, Stick. My friendship with you is ended. Thrown away like it was a stick. It's always so sad, like being a kid and having to throw away a good stick. So like in rainstorms, you could, you know, like there'd be a ditch right by where you had to wait in the rain for your bus stop, right? If you're me. And And so you could race sticks down the water in the ditch. And sometimes, you know, you would get one that was like way better than your brother's stick, but you couldn't just bring it on the bus because like people aren't as cool as they should be. And then, you know, by the next day you could, you know, either not find the stick or it wasn't as good. You know, the stick was never as good anymore. You could never preserve it. Very sad, you know, the impermanence of it all. Make a temple out of dirt and cover it with wheat. That's not the plan. That might be funny, though. The plan is sort of like a Parthenon-esque, like a Greek architecture temple-inspired thing. Maybe with a giant statue made out of wheat bales. Hay bales. Could you set them on fire? I never learned. I need to build a machine to set a giant man made out of hay on fire, like just like thousands of hay bales, like 100,000 wheat worth of hay bales. How would it even work? Lava dispensers on the inside with a super long redstone circuit? Because fires don't just burn forever. I also don't know if hay will even burn. We would have to figure this out. You forget if rain gets rid of fire? Well, the temple is going to be in a savanna, so the rain won't be a worry. There'd be no way for it to rain on our parade, as it never rains. And this is the disc that I found. It's a nice one. It has something like an eternal fire in it, so it can always be lit. That would be cool. Yeah, it's really just like about the spectacle of setting all the hay bales on fire, you know. Like a non-gruesome wicker man. There are these books by Lloyd Alexander called the Prydain Chronicles. The most famous of them is called The Black Cauldron. But I talk about him sometimes. If you remember the pig Hinwin from a previous world, that's the name of a pig in those books. But they have a thing in the last of that series where there's like they're calling like these sort of barbaric tribes to war, and they totally like do a bunch of weird, brutal sacrifices on the eve of battle type of thing. The book doesn't go into super big detail about it, but of course, the hushed tones of the people as they're like internally talking about it are all you need as a child with imagination. So you'd get like netherrack and then like flint and steel it, and then have your little thing going on there. The light that never goes out. It's impossible for me to avoid making Smith's references whenever they come up. It's who I am. Man, I cannot wait for tomorrow. I don't think I have to go outside at all. Not even once. It's like, you know, you've heard the saying, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. Well, I both work in a kitchen, can't stand the heat, and live in a hot place, but I can't go anywhere else. Everywhere else in this country is more expensive than here. But, you know, that's what good weather is about. Or you have to deal with snow, which is too cold. I don't know if you're aware. I have almost 1,500 subscribers. That could be the Bernie Wheat Man. I think I have almost 1,300. No, you know, sometimes a bunch of people just show up, and sometimes they don't. I don't try to understand it. I think people can drive themselves crazy trying to get it. You know, like, why did this video get watched and this other one didn't, and so on. You know, you just gotta roll with it. But Bernie Wheat Man could be cool, you know, but like burning Wheat Man, and he burns away to reveal eternally burning Netherrack Wheat Man. No, pretty dark. He burns so that the wheat can grow. Oh yeah, solid progress there. Got the whole side of that mountain done. Yep, we are making good progress indeed. So many golems, so obnoxious. I mean, very important members of the community. That's what I meant. A dispenser with flint and steel? Ah. Wheat will be everywhere. Just wheat. Like, I don't care if no one else thinks that the title of these streams is brilliant. I think it's funny. Not least because Doki Doki Literature Club was a wonderful game. And the Just Monica bit. I just think of it as like Just Wheat. It's like you wake up, you click on your computer, and it's just like, it comes up again. Just Wheat. Am I really out of seeds again? I'm not. Well, I might as well go farm some. Mai Tai? It is getting late, isn't it? Well, in that case, we'll just take a brief look at the wheat field. You know, they say you could never have enough. And maybe they're right. But I'm gonna try. We have used 276,000 wheat seeds. Gaze upon my work, see mighty in despair. Well, good stuff, huh? I should knock down that dirt pillar one of these days. Doesn't need to be here. Well, super fake Cherry Grove is super fake. You know, it's fine. Look, I didn't care about authenticity when I planted them. I like them because they look pink. Now you might be thinking to yourself, are you really a guy that likes the color pink? I mean, no, not especially. But I do like the way that trees that are pink look very much. And basically, I didn't even know they were in the game, right? And I was trying to find my way home. I was following my compass, because, you know, bedrock. And I had jumped out of the nether. I had finally got out of the nether, and I was just trying to get home with my stuff. And I happened across a cherry grove, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. And I got my saplings and carried on home, and then from there, planted all of the ones you see here. A beautiful story of my obsessions. The wheat was much the same way, only instead of getting the wheat seeds far away, I got them right around here. And the rest is history, or at the very least, applied botany, which is the same. One of these days I'm gonna work on this. So I have like an escape hatch back here. You can tell, so like, actually I'm like, wait, no, it's gonna take forever. So I have an escape hatch here. I jumped, alright. Anyway, we'll go to spectator mode and click through the wall. So we're gonna like build like a little thing here, right? And then it falls down Assassin's Creed style onto these hay bales. And then I was gonna like do like an underground tunnel, but anyway, that's what's behind those cobblestones in the chimney. And behind, so like you see, like you got like a little fake bookshelf, and you could, like, the idea is here, you know, you could like bust in through the wall here or break the painting. Before I knew it was Marcus Aurelius, the idea was to break the bookshelf and drop down for like an escape hatch thing. Natasha said today watched a Korean video Minecraft YouTuber, and he was playing wheat to do space PL wheat, and he was tied up by the 1000ish block. Well, you know, we are all very different people after all. But yes, I imagine if he saw this, he'd be impressed. I already knew the painting trick? I did not know the painting trick. So how it happened was, I was gonna have a painting there, right? And then this is the first time I ever saw the Marcus Aurelius painting. So I was like, oh, now I have to find a different thing to do. The idea was I would have bookshelves around, and then this empty bookshelf, and then you just break the empty bookshelf. You break, you know, the painting first, and then the bookshelves there, like, sort of like a hidden door, you know, because, you know, that kind of thing. But then whenever I got the good painting, I had to get a different idea. So I did not know the trick. Am I supposed to break the thing on the other side of it or underneath it, and then you could walk through? Anyway, it was really just like this painting hides the hidden passageway, but it's not. I certainly didn't know a functional trick. But yeah, we were gonna build a little tunnel that went, you know, from one place to another. Here's Famine. He hangs out down here, you know, with the dyes and stuff, because why wouldn't he? There's so much I still need to do. Like, practically everything. But that's okay. Life is very long, full of opportunities to plant a lot of wheat, or turn it all around, whichever you need to do. But guess that's all I've got. I hate going to sleep. It always feels like such a waste, right? But you can't stay up forever, or you know, the programming starts glitching out. Gotta give your machine time to rest after all. Anyway, that's all for me tonight. Bye, Natasha. Bye, Super Dean. Thanks for hanging out. It's good to see both of you. If you're watching in the future, I hope the weather is nice. I should be on tomorrow, and you know, playing whatever, probably the same stuff I always do, even though I wish I was a different person. I only wish it in an insincere way where it will never happen. But good night, guys.